This is Jason Merkle from HobbyZone Hobby, and we're here today with an overview and flight talk video of the AeroScout S2 1.1 meter, which has quickly become one of our all-time best-selling trainer aircraft. I've been flying for over 30 years, and this is one of my all-time favorite aircraft, not just for learning to fly, but just even as an experienced pilot because it's fun to fly. It's no hassles. It's the plane I can take with me everywhere I go. It can be my warm-up plane for the day. It's the plane that I tend to fly in the wind. We'll talk about that here in a little bit more detail, but generally speaking, everybody that's flown one of these absolutely loves it. It's one of the most highly reviewed airplanes that's out there. There's a cult-like following of people who learn to fly with it, and then people who they do all kinds of modifications, they race them, they do all kinds of fun things. We even have guys that we work with and other guys too who landed upside down just for fun on grass, and if they get lucky, sometimes it flips right back over on its wheels and they take off again. But there's just so many amazing things that you can do with this airplane. But really the main reason for us to originally introduce it more than 6 years ago was that we wanted it to be a phenomenal trainer aircraft. So if you've never flown RC aircraft before, if you're a beginner, you're a first-time pilot, you can start with this airplane. And then the nice thing is, in most cases, you don't even really ever outgrow it. It is so capable that even after you learn how to fly, you can still continue to learn aerobatics, hone your aerobatic skills, and become an even better pilot. And again, use it as your backup plane, your warm-up plane, your all-around fun plane, the plane that you let your friends learn to fly with. And there's just not a whole lot of airplanes that are out there that are that versatile. So what I'm flying here today, this is what we call our ready-to-fly basic version, which does include this Spectrum DXS transmitter. I'm flying it in box stock form. I haven't modified a single thing. You'll see how it performs right out of the box. The airplane with the standard 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery that we recommend for it. In this case, it is the Spectrum Smart LiPo. Pop the canopy here and show that to you. There it is, 3-cell 2200 30C. This is a G2 smart battery. So if you buy the ready-to-fly basic version, you do need a battery and charger that is sold separately. Now, we do sell the Spectrum Power Stage bundle, which includes that battery and a very small, simple S120 USB charger. It's a very simple, low-cost, effective solution. In most cases, I highly recommend buying 2, 3, preferably up to 4 batteries. You charge them at home, bring them to the field, get a couple flights in, go home and recharge. You can also buy much better chargers than the S120 that can charge faster. They are going to be more expensive, but you will have the option then to not spend as much time charging at home, potentially even at the field, if you get one of those chargers. We'll link to some of that down below and also a video where we talk a lot more about that as well. But again, I'm flying in stock form today because I want you guys to see just how good it flies, not only in the experienced mode, which is the mode that I fly it in the most because I have the most fun. I also want to talk about the intermediate flight mode and the beginner flight mode. It has safe technology, or full safe technology, which gives you those 3 flight modes. They're all on the flip of a switch there. What's nice about it is you can start off in the beginner mode. When you're ready, you can move into the intermediate mode. If you're not ready, you can go back to the beginner mode. When you get to the experienced mode, if you ever get in trouble, you can go back to the beginner mode, or you can use the panic recovery button. I'll also show that in action today to get it back to level flight. So there's a lot of really great technology in here. One of the other things that I really love is it has Spectrum Smart technology inside and includes telemetry. So the receiver inside the airplane is telling my transmitter how much charge is left in the battery in the airplane. So you can see there's 4 green LEDs on the front of the transmitter there. And as the battery voltage goes down, those will start to turn off. So, the first one goes off, you got about 75% left. The second one goes off, you got about 50% left. So it does help you understand how much power you have left without having to keep track with a timer, without having to guesstimate or hope for the best. And when you get down to that last one, it does start to beep. It lets you know, hey, you really need to land. In most cases, I try to keep an eye on it and I try my best to land when I see that second to last light flashing. But you can go a little further than that and still be safe. Today, we're probably gonna fly out the battery almost all the way, and maybe you'll see that telemetry in action, but it's really, really great feature that it has it. A couple other really nice things is this newest iteration that we introduced in 2026, it does already have the reinforced nose. And now you'll see is the only times you'll really see negative complaints about the AeroScout is from early on in its life before we had the reinforced nose section here, where the nose was a bit more fragile. It would break more on impact and be a little bit harder to repair. And a real quick side note on that is that you'll notice it looks a little funny because the propeller and the motor are behind the wing, and that's a pusher power configuration. But that's a big benefit because it prevents you from damaging the prop, damaging the motor mount if you do happen to crash or do happen to, maybe have a not so great landing. So even though it looks a little odd, that is a really, really nice touch that it's got that pusher power configuration. Again, we've got the reinforced nose on here. So for this newest iteration, we do also have an optional decal set that allows you to switch from the orange and the gray to blue and black. You can apply those decals over these decals. It takes a little extra effort to do that nicely. Some people will peel these off and put the other ones on, but that way you can have a little bit different look. There's also optional floats available, so you can take off and land on water, on snow, on wet grass. That's a really cool, nice touch. The other thing that's really neat about this is it does have oversized tires on it out of the box. With this tricycle landing gear, which makes it very easy to taxi and maneuver on hard surfaces and even on grass. And because they're oversized wheels, you can take off and land on the grass easily. So that's something I do want to demonstrate for you. I'm going to do some takeoffs and landings on the pavement. I'm also going to do a couple takeoff and landings in the grass. The sprinklers are just going, so it's wet, but you'll see that this airplane with these oversized wheels and the amount of power that it has, it still can take off and land even on that relatively thick and relatively wet grass right now. So there's a whole lot more to show you, a whole lot more to talk about, but let's get it in the air and have some fun. So again, I'm going to take off in the experience mode because I want you guys to see just how capable the airplane is in its stock form. Once you learn how to fly, and again, as you advance your skills, you really aren't going to outgrow the airplane. It is such a capable airplane, and I have to admit that it may not be the world's best looking airplane, in part because of that pusher configuration, which makes it look a little different than a traditional airplane. But boy, for everything it lacks in looks, it has more than enough. It makes up for it in the way that it flies. So this is a 1.5 roll to inverted on takeoff. So you can see the airplane is very capable. Bring it back by here, do a nice big loop. Has plenty of power to pull a nice big loop. Throttle off on the backside to smooth things out. We'll pull up into a stall turn here. Come back by and do a nice roll to the right. And then a roll to the left. And then something else that's kind of cool is it actually can do what we call knife edge. For those that aren't familiar with what that is, it's basically flying the airplane on its side. And these are all maneuvers that you should practice on the real flight RC flight simulator. So also in 2026, we're introducing in the Ready to Fly Basic version, we're also now including a copy of the Real Flight Trainer Edition RC Flight Simulator in the box. The DXS transmitter has been updated. It has a USB port on the back, so you can plug it in and use it with the simulator on pretty much any PC that has Windows 10 or 11. Here's some inverted flying. And you can see at full throttle, it's pretty fast. And one of the things I really like about this airplane is even though there's just a little bit of wind right now, it penetrates it very well. Now, when you're learning to fly, I strongly recommend not flying in the wind. But the nice thing about this airplane is it can actually handle the wind quite well, much better than most trainer aircraft can. We'll snap into inverted there. And you don't have to fly fast. That's the other beauty of this airplane is that it is very stable, even flying at slow speeds. Now at about half throttle, you can see it's noticeably slower. Everything's happening at a slower pace. Makes it a bit easier to handle, a little bit easier to fly. You get longer flight times at the lower throttle setting. Speaking of the flight times, it depends on how aggressive you fly it. So if you fly it like I was just flying it, you're only gonna get roughly 5 minutes. If you fly it like this, you could probably fly for upwards of 15 minutes. So you do wanna keep an eye on those LEDs because they help keep track of the battery voltage and how much power you have remaining for you. But again, you can fly anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. And that's why ultimately you're probably gonna want to have an extra battery or 2 or 3 on hand. For a lot of people, they think 5 minutes is not long or 10 minutes is not long, but I will tell you as an experienced pilot, after 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere in that window, most of us were ready for a break. You know, it's a lot of work to look up at the airplane, keep track of it. It's a little bit of a, mental exercise to fly. It's well worth it though. And again, the more flight time you can get with extra batteries, the better. All right, so now that we're flying in the experience mode and you see how capable it is, I'm actually gonna go to the beginner flight mode. So there's a switch here on the transmitter. I'm gonna flip it all the way back to the beginner flight mode. Now, in the beginner flight mode, it is extremely easy to fly. A big part of that is our safe technology, which when I hold the stick all the way over to the left, for example, the airplane stops. You see, it has what we call a bank angle limit. And then when I let go of the stick, it goes back to level. So I can't get the airplane upside down. No matter what I do, I can hold the stick all the way over to the right. It doesn't roll upside down. It never gets upside down, and you will not crash. As long as you let go of the stick, it goes right back to level. It also has what we call the pitch angle limit. So if I pull all the way back on the stick, it only can climb so much. Again, it can't roll or can't loop over and get upside down. And if I push forward, which you shouldn't really do often, we've specifically set it up so it doesn't descend too quickly. So Again, the beginner flight mode makes it extremely easy to fly, makes it easier to take off, makes it easier to land, and also, again, makes it easier to fly in the air. Now I'm gonna switch to the intermediate flight mode, which is kind of like training wheels on a bike. You know, you've got your training wheels all the way down. The bike can't tilt either direction. It makes it very easy to kind of learn to ride a bike. The intermediate mode is like lifting your training wheels up a little bit. So now your bike can bank over left and right a little bit more or lean over more. The airplane can also bank more. So you'll see that it still has that limit, that angle limit on the ailerons, but it's a higher angle than I could achieve in the beginner mode. So that allows me to fly a little bit more aggressively, to turn a little bit tighter. Same thing with the elevator. I also have more pitch up and more pitch down, but now it doesn't go back to level. So if I make a turn and I let go of the stick in the intermediate mode, you see it stays in the turn. I have to fly it out. So the reason that that's good is because it teaches you the technique that you need to ultimately learn how to fly the airplane in the experienced flight mode. Right in here. So again, I'm gonna show you that in action. I'm gonna bank it and let go. And you see, it's gonna start to descend. I'm gonna pull back on the stick. And if I don't stop the turn, it's just gonna keep turning. So ultimately, I need to go a little bit of left aileron after making a right turn to get it back to level. So it's a really great stepping stone, intermediate step between the beginner flight mode and the experienced flight mode. Now, the other cool thing that this product has is what we call panic recovery. So I'm gonna switch to the experienced flight mode. So let's say you're progressing from beginner to intermediate, you're ready for experienced, and maybe you turn a little too aggressively, you get upside down and you panic. There's a button on top here, you hit the panic recovery button, it goes right back to level, all on its own for a few seconds for you. The other option is, let's say you are inverted in the experienced flight mode and you're not sure what to do, you can hit panic recovery or you can flip back to beginner mode. In beginner mode, now it's right back to level, but more importantly, if I'm a little bit shaky now because I got scared, in the beginner mode, you can go right back to just holding the stick over, make a nice easy turn, let go, let it fly level. It makes it a little bit easier to kind of regain your composure and to get a little bit more comfortable flying again. So you have panic recovery, it's an option, but you then also have that option to switch back to the beginner flight mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a landing really quick on the pavement, and then I'm gonna do a takeoff and landing in the grass. An important note, which you'll see in some of our other videos where we talk about learning how to fly this airplane, it's very, very important to always take off and land into the wind. But most importantly of all, if you're a new pilot, you really should not fly in the wind. But check this out. This is amazing how slow and easy you can land this airplane on the mains. Oh, so easy. Just a really phenomenal, easy to fly training aircraft, but at the same time, a really fun to fly aircraft for experienced pilots. So let me put it on the grass here. The really nice thing about this, having the tricycle landing gear makes it very easy for ground handling. Having those oversized tires is great because you can handle even a transition from pavement to grass like this. And you can see I can still drive around in the grass, not as well as I can on the pavement, but it has large enough wheels and great steering so I can definitely handle the grass no problem. Now, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a takeoff here in the grass to show you that in action. So it takes a little bit longer to get off the ground because the grass is a little draggy, and in this case, it's actually a bit wet. But you can see it took off no problem off the grass. And I'll just go ahead and make a quick landing with it here in the grass. So depending on where you're flying this airplane, you may only have grass to take off and land on, that's okay. If you have pavement, it's a little bit easier, but grass is still great, especially if you're flying on like in a park-like setting or a sports field setting. There it is. Nice and easy, and I'll go ahead and taxi it back. This is the HobbyZone AeroScout S 1.1 meter, what I truly believe is quite possibly one of the best trainer aircraft that there's ever been for our hobby, but at the same time, it's a whole lot more than that too. Be sure to watch our other videos. Check out the links down below. Thank you for watching.